Hey guys, it's Drew again. 2024 was a year first for me, and I want to take a few minutes to recall, relive, and remember a few of those things that made this year so memorable in my journey. So let's check it out. I've been collecting for decades and I've had a lot of great experiences in my life. But as I look back and remember 2024 and what it was to me, I really remember that this was a year of first for me. And there was a lot of things I just got to experience for the first time or see for the first time or even obtain as far as getting things within my collection for the very first time. So I want to take a few minutes and sort of a recap over this last year and share with you guys some of those different memories and things I did. So 2024 started out with me going to a card show. Now, I've been to a lot of card shows before, but what made this one different was it was actually the first of three. This is the first time in my life I've ever been to three shows in one year. And I know for a lot of you guys it seems kind of crazy. You go weekend or every other weekend or once a month. But for me, I just don't have a lot of shows around me. And I got to go to three. Now, I did pick up some different things along the way, but really what I started to do was I started to develop and really focus in on what do I want to get. And I've been very specific in how I wanted to pick things up. But starting off this year, I had one card in mind that I really, really wanted to get. And what I needed was I needed a plan because I couldn't afford it. Now, I haven't bought a card in a number of years because I've been saving money for a big card. That's not the card I'm talking about this time. What I wanted to do is I wanted to take something and I wanted to take my side hobby of woodworking and turn that into this card. And I was blessed to be asked by a very good friend of mine, Will, if I could custom make a couple of display cases for him. So this was the first time where I actually got to take some of my woodworking skill and transform it into baseball card money. And I made Will these two cases, and I've shown them off before, but I'm going to show a few pictures here. And they turned out great, especially this one that I'm showing now. Now, these are my cards in the case, and this is pictures I took before I gave them to Will. But he was absolutely overjoyed with this, and it really made me happy. And once I saw pictures of Will with his collection in these cases, I was just so excited and ecstatic that he really enjoyed it. But what I did was I took that money and I turned it into something that what Will paid me. And what I did pick up was I picked up this 1955 Jackie Robinson. And my goal was, even though I had more money with me when I was at a show, this was a later show in the year, but when I had more money for this card, I didn't want to spend more than what I had made from these cases. So I was very, very diligent to not overspend and get a higher grade because I wanted to keep it within the budget. Well, not only was I able to do that, I was actually able to talk to a dealer and I got a steal, in my opinion, on this specific card, which is just a beautiful example of it. And I actually had some money left over, and what I did with that extra money was I picked up my very first vintage pennant. And I absolutely love this thing. It's just absolutely, it's just great. And usually it's sitting kind of up behind me here. So in future videos, look out for that. But my first vintage pendant, and not my first Jackie Robinson, but the first big card ever made because of woodworking. Well, as you guys know, I also went to the National for the first time, which was a first. And so I got to meet people for the very first time. There was a couple of people I've met along the way, people I've met through YouTube, but up until this year, I'd only met two. I knew Jake from Legends Never Die, and I happened to meet Don's Field of Dreams, in person, but at the National, I met tons of people, tons of you guys, and I got to talk to you and share with you, walk the floor with you, look at your pickups, show you my pickups, and just experience that entire thing. I got to go to a Cleveland Indians game for the very first time. I'm sorry, Cleveland Guardians game for the very first time. I had never even been to Cleveland outside of the airport before in my life, and I got to spend almost a whole week there, and I got to go with two of my best friends. In fact, oh yeah, my best friend Scott from Reindeer Studios. So we had a great time at the game, and it was just an excitement, just fun-filled blur of a week. I got to see the show. I got to see so many people. I got to share these experiences, and I got to pick up a few different things. Now, I don't want all this to be about my pickups, but you know, I did pick some stuff up. So along the way, I picked up my very first Cracker Jack card. And I know I've shown this off before, but how do you get tired of looking at such a beautiful card? And the story behind it is fantastic. I'm not going to rehash it now, but I picked this up from another YouTuber and just sitting at Scott's dining room table as we were just talking about baseball cards. And that is what makes this hobby so good and what made this year so good. Also, I got to complete for the first time a complete player run, and I'm talking complete player run, and I completed my playing days Carl Erskine when at the National I picked up this Stallmeyer. And I absolutely just am phenomenal. I'm just, this card is phenomenal. I'm blown away that I have it. The back is beautiful. The front is beautiful, and I got to complete my Carl Erskine run of Playing Days cards after all these years of putting his common cards of Topps and Bowman together. I finally picked up that hard one. So thrilled. And of course, I finally got to pay 4 digits, believe it or not, for a baseball card. Not that that's been a goal of mine, but it is the first time I did that. And anytime I get a chance, I'm going to show it off again. But I picked up this beautiful Ted Williams from the Leaf set. Absolutely thrilled with this card. Absolutely just ecstatic over it. I still get comments constantly from you guys who see these videos, from guys who know me and text me. There's a few people that I'll text and just say, hey, by the way, I got this and you didn't. Just kidding, of course. But this was just a great year of first. I got to see people. I got to meet friends. I got to pick up things. I spent more money this year than I've ever spent in cards. And a lot of that had to do with these little card stands. We talked about the case or the cases I made for Will to get that Jackie Robinson, but these little stands actually sold like crazy, and I really appreciate everybody who supported me. And it's amazing to me as I'm watching so many videos of different types of people, whether it's modern, ultra modern, vintage, raw, graded, or whatever, and I see my little stands on their videos. I appreciate that, and that just makes me happy to know that something that I did is being enjoyed by other people. So that was a first. Not that I did something that people enjoy, but it was a first that I took something. It was just a concept idea, and it turned into just an amazing year of pickups. So thank you again for those who supported me with this. But this year has just been a great. It's been a great year of first, and I look forward to 2025. Now, I'm not planning to go to the National in 2025. I just can't afford it, and time and life and so much other things is going on, but I'm okay with that. I was hoping to maybe go to Strongsville, but I'm not sure I'm going to be able to make that either. In fact, outside of a couple of local shows, I'm probably not going to be able to go to many shows. I know I'm not going to pick up any cards like these. I may not sell a whole lot of these stands if I sell any. And you know what? If it goes back to what life was in 2023 and before, I'm okay with that, because one thing that I did make this year was I made a ton of friends. I made a ton of memories, and I just love and cherish all those moments that I had. So what did you gain in 2024? Was it a year of first for you? Maybe a card, a player, an experience that you got to do for the first time? Let me know in the comments or make your own video about it. I'd love to hear it, because that's what it's all about, is sharing within this community our passions and our love for this thing that we call collecting. And anyway, I really appreciate you guys listening to me. I appreciate the support you've given me over this last year. And until next time, you guys be good.